And welcome back. We are back again. Hopping into another puppy superflex draft. It's almost full already. Sad day. I'm down to one single dollar. Need to get the funds uploaded again. If you want to get into some puppy drafts before it fills up, which you can see the progress bar right here, it's already 69% full. Nice, nice. So go to underdogfantasy.com. Your first deposit between $10 and $100 gets matched 100%. Free money. You put in $100, you get a free $100 that same second. You can get into 40 of these drafts if you hurry, because they're gonna fill up again here soon. So we're gonna get into this right now. We've been getting a lot better with Superflex. Here's your prize payouts. I'm just excited to be back and streaming again. It's definitely one of my favorite parts of the day. So I always look forward to hanging out with you guys and drafting some football teams. And you should as well. The good thing about these drafts is, a lot like normal sports betting, you just place the bet and you're done and you just wait to see if it works out. This, you put in $100 or whatever you decide to put in, but you put in some money, and as long as you're not entering Best Ball Mania drafts every time, which is a $25 entrance. If you're entering these $5 drafts, you can make it stretch for a while, and it's like every draft takes an hour. So if you spend $5 for an hour of fun, it's not even you're betting, you're getting some practice, but if you enjoy drafting fantasy football teams as much as I do, like when I'm not drafting teams, I'm pretty much watching someone draft a team, which is why I even started streaming in the first place, just because I enjoy it. So if you're like me and you just enjoy drafting these teams, then you almost can just look at it like you're paying for an hour of fun rather than like gambling. Because if you get a return on your money, that's awesome, and you do have access to these crazy prizes. $50,000 to first in this draft or this tournament. Best Ball Mania is $2 million to first, and hundreds of thousands of extra side prizes, which is all just like a bonus because I just enjoy drafting in the first place. So that's a little way you can look at it, or at least that's how I look at it. I do at least one a day. Most likely I'm doing 2 or 3 a day. I just only stream one of them in the background. I'm kind of doing them as my day goes on when I get bored. So lots of fun. We did just finish up. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few streams ago, probably like a week ago, honestly, we accidentally entered a 8-hour draft in a 12-team league, and we just finished that today. And I hate the team. We're not even gonna go over it, to be honest. It's just such a bad team. I just can't stay invested when it takes 8 hours every pick. I don't know. It's like I don't even remember what I was doing at that point. So I threw a team together, but don't expect much out of that. I don't even really like looking at it. Looks like Jonathan Taylor might fall to us again. I don't really want to take him here. I'd rather just go with Russell Wilson, to be honest. Oh, well, Jonathan Taylor goes, actually. So we'll take Russell Wilson. Not taking Cooper Kupp at 9. So throws for. Oh, I thought it was FOR. I thought it said throws for touchdowns, which, that would be true. Russell Wilson has been throwing for touchdowns for quite a while now. You could say that's why he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So we are going to be pick 16, which is right in this. I feel like I always end up with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe we switch it up here. I think Aaron Rodgers is a good option, but I don't want all my teams to have Aaron Rodgers on them. Cooper Kupp goes 3 picks before us. So if one of these guys goes Justin Jefferson, maybe we end up with Trey Lance or Dak Prescott, which would be really nice. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It's funny how Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers are going at the same exact spot. Being that, hey, I'll take that. That's for sure. 3-pick value, which is actually kind of nice to get a value on a quarterback here, because you never get values on quarterbacks here in the first 2 rounds of the Superflex drafts. But I was just saying it's funny how Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr are neck and neck in these super flex drafts because of the trade off of Devontae Adams. It's almost like Devontae Adams is the team. I mean, obviously Aaron Rodgers has more credentials than Derek Carr at this point in his career, but um, I don't know. I think Derek Carr is extremely underrated. I think he's gone through so much personnel change as far as roster and coaching goes, and I feel like he's been putting up stats for years now. He just has never really been a playoff team, like a serious contender, just because of his coaches and his offense. So I'm very curious to see how the Raiders do this year because the Raiders worked my Ravens. I think it was week 1 last year. Because now they have Max Crosby. I mean, their defense is starting to look good. Their offense is looking like a juggernaut right now. Josh Jacobs, Derek Carr, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfro, Devontae Adams. Like, I think I don't know. I think Derek Carr gets considered to be one of the better quarterbacks in the league after this year because I think he's really been going through his career as almost like a Kirk Cousins, which I think he's so much better than Kirk Cousins. So I think people realize that after this year. I really do. Speaking of Kirk Cousins, he goes at 25. Trevor Lawrence goes at 26. That's mad early, but I get it. I think. Actually, no, I don't get it. I would much rather go Justin Fields or Tua. But hey, that's just me. So with these quarterbacks, we're gonna be looking for a CD Lamb or Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton stack. We'll see. What pick are we? Are we already coming back? Damn. I feel like this is flying right now. Okay, so Jamar Chase, Travis Kelce, Aaron Rodgers. I feel like Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers start is so common. I have that start in one of my drafts, and I've seen it in almost every draft that we've done here, or at least it feels like that. Nothing too shocking. Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler stack. That's kind of nice. I like that. Dalvin Cook goes, which is good. I'm really hoping for CD Lamb here, which we might get him. We do. You probably couldn't even see that. I'm sorry if you couldn't see that. Do we go? I think we have to go CD with the stack. We're at pick 33. The only thing I thought about was Mark Andrews did fall. But being that we have Dak, I want to go with the stack here. You guys probably know that I'll be looking for a running back here soon. However, I might try to double up on. Let's see. Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson. I'm okay with punting quarterback. I don't need to go 3 right here. Who do I want? Like, I mean, obviously, if Mark Andrews fell to us that far, that would be ideal. But I doubt that'll happen. We have 4 picks and then us. So, yeah. So there, Mark Andrews goes. Who do I want though? That's the real question. Saquon Barkley goes. Man, I don't even know who I want. Jameis Winston. Aaron Jones makes it to us. Do we really? I don't even know if I want Aaron Jones, surprisingly enough. I think we go Tyreek Hill. Get 2 super solid wide receivers we can bank on. I would even go a third one on the next turn and then just do maybe like the middle range running back. I haven't done this method of going 2 quarterback, 2 wide receiver and punting running back. So we'll see how this works out because I think what will end up happening is I have 14 picks till pick 57, and that puts us right in this ETN. Oh, wow. ETN jumped over Zeke. Is that new? I feel like that's new. But then we get into like the Jerry Jeudy. I don't know. I really do want to go double running back here, but But we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, if like Michael Pittman, James Conner, Travis Etienne, if they make it to us, we'll take them. Kamara, I'm iffy on. I don't know how I feel about that. If you don't know, Kamara's going to miss at least 6 games of this coming up season, if not more. I think probably 6 to 8, which the season is, as far as we're concerned, there's 17 games that count in fantasy football. Week 17 is the championship. Let's see if we can pull this up here. So where is it? Yeah, week 17 is the championship. So if he misses 8 games, that means we're looking at a good 9, like half the season out of him. Which, at some point that becomes worth it. It's just when, because I don't know if Kamara at 50 is better than Travis Etienne at 56 as far as ADP goes. Just because Etienne basically has the upside of Kamara. I don't think it's like, we know what Kamara is. We don't know what Travis Etienne is, but he could be an Alvin Kamara, and he's going to be there for the whole season. Whereas Kamara is going to be there for half the season. So as much as I would like to grab him for later, I think you'd have to grab him as like a second or third running back option. I don't know if he can be your first, unless you went like 3 running backs in a row and you built a team with like Alvin Kamara, Breece Hall, and Josh Jacobs or something. Like, you could do that and be fine. Let's see. I like looking at the draft as a whole. So let's pull this up. I do like the start. We would like to get a stack here. I think, man, I was so against Courtland Sutton. I don't know. Like, I feel like he is just growing on me as the days go by. I just really can see him being an elite receiver. But I think if we're taking chances and placing bets, like if this was my only draft, I'd be going Jared Jeudy. But we have a few of these drafts, so I'm okay with taking a chance on Courtland Sutton here and there. If I'm picking one over the other, I'm usually picking Jeudy over Courtland Sutton, but we're not necessarily doing that when we're entering 50 drafts. I can diversify my portfolio a little bit with grabbing someone that I don't necessarily like the most here and there. But I will say I like the start we're off to. So we're definitely not going to just take a chance to take a chance. If we like the value, we'll take it, but we don't have to. Keenan Allen goes. Let's go Courtland Sutton. We've talked about it enough. Now we got CeeDee Lamb, Courtland Sutton, the potential top 2 options for Dak and Russell Wilson as our quarterbacks. And then just have Tyreek Hill just here for the ride. So our wide receiver room looks really good. If Courtland Sutton works out, then we have 3 number 1 wide receivers that can count for our 2 wide receiver slots and our 1 flex spot. So now the goal here is to hammer probably 3 rounds in a row of running backs, including this one coming up. Now, if Alvin Kamara is available, do we take him? Since we're taking 3 in a row right here, do we take him? Which answer might be yes. I mean, because the other thing we're going to run into is Dalton Schultz is going to be in our range for the next pick, which that would be a nice double stack with Dak Prescott. So yeah, he could be there for sure. It's who do we want out of these 4 people? Kamara, Zeke, Cam, or Breece Hall? I think we're going Kamara. I was just talking shit. I know. But we're going to try to grab Mark Ingram later on to pad this, like to kind of try to make it through the first 6 to 8 games. We're going to draft 2 running backs, hopefully, that we like, which is going to be hard because we're basically going to be, hopefully, our decisions between J.K. Dobbins and Josh Jacobs. If not, we're going to have to fall because you guys know I don't like A.J. Dillon. I'll be cool with taking. I'm not really interested in Antonio Gibson. I'd rather even go just like Miles Sanders, Ken Walker, Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, James Cook, Chase Edmonds. So, I mean, we have options. I'm trying to get more comfortable with grabbing, like with punting my running backs a little bit. I think you can do it either way. I think you can either punt, like you're going to have to punt someone unless you just build, because usually what I do is build like a completely balanced team. I've been trying to get away from that a little bit and just kind of diversify my teams more and more as we go. Which means punting like a specific position. And usually I don't do it because I'm not comfortable with it. But I've been trying to force myself into doing it because I think you can build some really powerful teams drafting that way. It's just, I mean, that's why we're doing these drafts, is getting comfortable with different strategies. Obviously, you have a little bit of comfort with the strategy you've been doing for however many years you've been drafting. It's about getting comfortable with different strategies. And what I really want to do is make a bunch of teams with all these different strategies. At the end of this year, look at all of them and see, tally them up and see which strategy worked out most. And then next year when we come back, we'll have a really good idea of what we're trying to accomplish when we go into these puppy drafts next year. And maybe we start doing best ball manias after we gain that level of confidence and practice and experience. So at this point in the draft, I know I'm jumping around a little bit here, but at this point in the draft, we're definitely looking for Josh Jacobs. If he makes to us, I mean, 2-2-2-3 running backs. So these guys don't have to take him. They're definitely more interested in wide receiver than running backs right now. So that's good for us. Because ideally, a Dalton Schultz, Josh Jacobs turn might be the best thing for us here. But Josh Jacobs is highest on our priority right now. Darnell Mooney goes. We have the last two more picks. Allen Robinson goes. This guy's the dark horse. He might go Dalton Schultz. Hopefully it doesn't go Josh Jacobs. He goes deep. Are we good? Are we back? Are we back? Sorry, I don't know what happened. My OBS just gave me a notification saying that the stream timed out for a second. I hope everything's good, and I hope you guys can see me. But anyways, I think Josh Jacobs is probably the player I picked the most because I really just hate the drop off after him. The question is, do we go Dalton Schultz or like an A.J. Dillon? And I think I know the answer already. And you guys probably do too, just from the way we've been talking about it. Or do we? I think A.J. Dillon has extreme upside, extremely high upside, and he goes, so we don't have to think about that. But his upside is just absolutely absurd if something happened to Aaron Jones. Miles Sanders goes. Yeah. Miles Sanders goes. So what we're going to do is go Dalton Schultz. The decision here was pretty much made for us. I mean, we talked through these decisions as we were making them, but I really like what we ended up with here. Obviously, ideally, we would have went, like, I thought about A.J. Dillon there for a second. Ideally, we would have had J.K. Dobbins fall to us and had Josh Jacobs and J.K. Dobbins, but that was a bit of a stretch and a prayer. So the way all this shakes out, Dalton Schultz was the obvious pick for the double stack with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, which I'm okay with because I have a hard time getting Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Dalton Schultz on the same team. So when I have that opportunity, I'm totally fine with grabbing it because I think that the targets that Dalton Schultz and CeeDee Lamb start to see based off of Amari Cooper leaving is going to be, I think they're going to be extremely productive wide receiving options this year. And since we have both, if anything happens to one of them, the other one will just skyrocket, which obviously we would hope for them to both stay healthy, but it's very unlikely that both of them go down. And I don't know if you guys have ever had the privilege of being around Huskies, but these dogs are nuts. Nuts. We're 9 picks away. Tony Pollard is like the next best back here. But I don't want four. What am I trying to say? I do not want 4 Cowboys. We do have a very balanced team at this point, which I mean, I do like getting the teams to a level of comfort in every position. Like, I'm usually comfortable when I have 1 solid tight end, 3 solid wide receivers, 2 or 3 running backs, and 2 quarterbacks in these super flex drafts. So at this point, I really do feel like I can take whoever I want. There's a lot of different ways we can go here. Tony Pollard is pretty much the only way I'm not thinking about going. Unfortunately, I do think Tony Pollard has a extreme upside this year, but I just don't. I think that's too many people from the same team. So I don't want to draft another Cowboy. CEH is... Don't ever take him. I would strongly advise against it. We're 99 at pick 105. Traylon Burks, Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett. Let's go Dallas Goddard. What this does for us is we're done at tight end at this point. And I think I like I just don't love the running backs in this range yet. Ken Walker will be there by the time we get this turn. And even if he's not, I like Kareem Hunt and not Cordero as much, but I do like Kareem Hunt. I think we do have to go. Like, I really want to go wide receiver just because I like the talents here. And, like, let's just say if Michael Thomas is still available, we might just say screw it and pick him up. 129 and 136 are our next picks. So what are we looking at there? We're looking at this range. Chase Edmonds. Like, if I get Chase Edmonds, I'd be feeling pretty good. But other than that, we're looking rough. So I don't want to. I want to grab a running back here. I can't really say F it with Michael Thomas. I'm just debating right now if I want to say F it with Tony Pollard just because he's at. I mean, I can't. Or can I? I can't. Oh, man. Hmm. I don't know. Tell me if that is dumb. Because basically what I'm doing, I have 1 running back through the first 10 rounds right now in the beginning of the season. Kamara doesn't count. I have so much Ken Walker. I have so little faith in Cordero Patterson that I think the right pick is going Michael Thomas right here. Like, one thing we know for sure is this team is going to be locked and loaded come 7th, 8th, 9th week of the season. Can we get some dubs under our belt before that time period comes up? Because right now, what we can do is basically go running back for the next 3 rounds, I think, is what we have to do. I think we go 3 rounds in a row at running back. We're really hoping for Chase Edmonds here. Really hoping for Chase Edmonds. I would love to go like James Cook and Chase Edmonds, or even Chase Edmonds and Ramondre Stevenson. We're going to have to take some running backs we're not normally interested in, just because I think we're in a position where, like, our wide receivers are, I mean, look at those wide receivers. That has extreme upside, extremely high upside. I don't know what happens with Michael Thomas. He's a big question mark too. which is why you get the value on him that we got. Picking him up at pick 112. But he might get traded. He might. I doubt he plays for the Saints this year. I really do. So we don't know what's going to happen with him, but we do know that his talent is extremely high. And this wide receiver room is looking insane. Our tight end room is looking insane. Our quarterback room is looking insane. Honestly, the only room that I'm a little worried about is the running back position in the beginning of the season. So it's like, if we make it through the beginning of the season, we will be feeling really good. Now, these next coming teams have 4 running backs, 2, 3, 3. So it's very possible we get Melvin Gordon or James Cook and Chase Edmonds, which if that happens, we will be feeling this might be the best draft we've ever done if that happens. So we're just going to have to wait and find out. A strategy that I have noticed is extremely powerful that I would like to offer to you guys is grab 2 quarterbacks in the first 2 rounds and then basically don't pick another one the rest of the draft. Because I know, wow, Chase Edmonds goes early. Oh. Worst case scenario. I'm so much more confident in Chase Edmonds and Melvin Gordon than I am James Cook. We don't have a choice right here. We have to go James Cook. But what I was saying is grab 2 really solid quarterbacks and just forget about it. Because, I mean, if we're going for the $50,000, everything has to work out. And if everything works out, your top 2 quarterbacks are providing 20-plus point games every single week. And Dak Prescott and Russell Wilson are more than capable of it. I'm not interested in wasting a round to pick up Mitchell Trubisky as a backup when I still need running backs way more. I have way more faith in these 2 quarterbacks producing than I do like Josh Jacobs and James Cook. So I'm going to continue to draft the running back. And this allows you to kind of stack your running back, wide receiver, and tight end positions in the early rounds after your first 2 rounds. So I think this strategy is extremely powerful. We're just kind of struggling right now with running back, but I'm not super worried about it. Something I could definitely see myself doing right here is grabbing, which I probably will actually, because our next picks are what? I mean, the running back room is continuing to look bad, so I know I'm. Yeah. So I'm looking to get Tim Patrick right here. Go for a double stack with Russell Wilson. So then we'll have double stacks in both players if we get him right here. He definitely could get picked, but he does have free. Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, it's not a real value. We're basically picking him exactly at ADP. We're good on on tight ends. I would, Deshaun Watson is the only other pick that you could consider if you're thinking he's going to play this season. I don't think he's going to play, so I'm not going to pick him. I think he's suspended the entire 2022 season also. I mean, not also because he wasn't suspended last year, but I think he doesn't play for a second season in a row. And I think I honestly think that Tim Patrick could come out of this season as the wide receiver 1 in Denver. Everyone's going between Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. But Tim Patrick, I mean, he's behind 2 really good receivers, so he doesn't get talked about that much. But I mean, his potential is so high. So high. And considering we have Courtland Sutton already, like, having the double stack for the top 2 of the top options in both Dallas and Denver, I like that. And I looked ahead to the running back range. And if, like, Nyheim Hines, I think, is going to have some really big games this year. And Isaiah Spiller, I would love to grab. So I don't think we're like dead in the water at running back either. And I'm so comfortable in every other position that I can reach on running backs at this point. I don't know why Damian Harris and Rachaad White are so high. I understand that they're going to have roles, and Damian Harris might even be the running back 1. But he's a 3rd round pick. Like, I'm not really interested in picking him over Isaiah Spiller, who's going to have a role in possibly the best offense in the entire league right out of the gate, and was a 1st round pick or 2nd round pick or whatever he was. So I don't know why he's going over Isaiah Spiller. Who was the other one? Pierce. Damian Pierce draft. Damian Pierce is a 4th round pick. Then you have Isaiah Spiller. Draft. Oh, wait. Isaiah Spiller's a 4th round pick? Wow, I just straight up lied to you guys. I guess they're all pretty even. Okay, I guess that makes a little bit more sense now. Oh shoot, I just hit Apex. What was he? 4th round. Damian Pierce is early 4th round. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. Isaiah Spiller goes actually. I think I still prefer Nyheim Hines over Damian Pierce though. If Damian Pierce is still there on our way back through, then we'll grab him, which he probably won't be. Jerick McKinnon. How early is that? Holy shit. 50-some picks before? What are you doing? You did not have to do that. Kenneth Gainwell goes. I really like Nyheim Hines this year. I don't know if that's just me, but I think his ceiling is extremely high. I don't think he's giving you consistent scores on a week-to-week basis, but when he does give you a score, it's going to be up there. It's going to be up there. He had games like that last year where he just popped off, and that was before the head coach came in and said, "Look, we're getting Nyheim Hines involved way more this year." So I've been taking him where I can lately. Now, do we want Damian Pierce or Darrell Henderson? Probably Damian Pierce if we can get him. Just because Darrell Henderson has no receiving upside, and Cam Akers is back. I mean, the offense is way better. But that almost leaves Damian Pierce more room to step in. My question is more between Damian Pierce and Michael Carter, to be honest. But if we can, we'll go Damian Pierce. But Frelevant, I don't know what his name. Fantasy Football Relevant. He definitely could go Damian Pierce right here. He only has 3 running backs. He goes Van Jefferson, even though he has 7 wide receivers now. Hey man, you do you. You do not have to draft that many wide receivers in Superflex, by the way. It makes sense in normal not Superflex to get a bunch of wide receivers. But when your wide receiver room looks like this, like it looks good. Deebo Samuels, Mike Williams, Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, Sky Moore. You don't have to keep taking wide receivers. Now, he's definitely comfortable at running back. His quarterback room looks a little weak, but looks fine. I mean, I guess he looks fine. He looks fine. I don't think you have to go this many wide receivers, though. I think you probably go another running back instead of Van Jefferson there. But he's actually looking pretty fine. In normal drafts, like not super flex, in Underdog Fantasy, not super flex drafts, to be more specific, you definitely want more wide receivers and running backs. Like you want, and I mean, you still want them in this too, but wide receivers are so much more valuable because you're basically looking for 4 wide receiver scores to count every week. Where in Superflex, you're really only looking for 3 wide receiver scores to count every week, 2 or 3. So your running back and your wide receiver values are a lot more equal. So you don't need to grab like 8 wide receivers and 3 running backs. I've been grabbing more of like 5 running backs to like 7 or 8 wide receivers. That's just me. Deshaun Watson continues to fall. Is there Deshaun Watson news? Deshaun Watson 2022. Say the Cleveland Browns beyond Deshaun Watson core is loaded with talent. Yeah, it's not looking too hot for Deshaun Watson. Houston Texans sued. Saw that coming. Saw that coming. Yeah, I think this Texans were like setting up these rooms to get him to stay, basically. I could definitely see the Texans getting punished here. I mean, the NFL has said straight up they want Deshaun Watson's suspension to be as long as possible. Indefinite suspension for that's why, I mean, someone finally took him, but that's why he kept falling there, because like I said, I think it's extremely likely that he doesn't play this year. Extremely likely. Now, definitely looking for Tyler Algier here. Definitely looking for him. And then after that, we're pretty free to just start hammer wide receivers again. J.D. McKissic goes. So we'll go Tyler Algier right now. Tyler Algier is off the board. I feel a lot better about our running backs now. I think that James Cook, Nyheim Hines, Damian Pierce, and Tyler Algier can get us through the first 6 to 7 weeks. Once Alvin Kamara comes back, then we're solid. And I think our running backs behind Alvin Kamara are all, they all have their upside. They're all going to have at least a few weeks of countable scores, with the potential of being, having a ceiling that's unmatchable when you have the rest of your team looking like ours. So I really like where we're sitting right now. But that being said, I think I'm ready to start taking wide receivers again. Right now, I'm looking at George Pickens. I'm not interested in Jalen Tolbert. Alec Pierce is a little bit interesting. I think he has some upside. Yeah. Oh, right. Do we have a pick near 210? I forgot I was going to grab Mark Ingram if I can. Yeah, we'll try to grab him at 208. So we're definitely going to go 167. We're on pick 184. I did think about David Njoku there for a second. Yeah, we'll go George Pickens. What kind of quarterbacks we got left? Basically nobody. Do we take a shot on somebody? It's not even really anyone worth taking a shot on. I mean, Drew Lock. Baker Mayfield's going to get traded to Seattle. I put my money on it. And even if he doesn't, like right now, Seattle's saying that Geno Smith is the quarterback one. So none of these guys are really worth my time. I mean, unless you want to bank on an injury, like you could grab Malik Willis, you could grab Tyler Huntley. If something happened, Lamar. You could grab Teddy Bridgewater, would be a fine pick if something happened to Tua, which I don't know. Like that could potentially make sense as our last pick. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll grab Teddy B at the very end, just because we have Tyreek Hill, and if that all shakes out where Tua got hurt for some reason, then Teddy B would be a stack with Tyreek Hill, which would be pretty nice. And I think for us, he's the only one really worth taking a shot on. And being that we can grab him in the very last round, maybe I'll do that. Grab Mark Ingram and the hell's his name? Teddy B. And then grab like 2 wide receivers. That's the plan. That's the plan. James Robinson continues to fall. I think James Robinson's a sneaky pick in this range. Obviously, Travis Etienne is better. Obviously, James Robinson is coming back from an injury, but he's been. I feel bad for the man. He's been so disrespected in Jacksonville. He's the only good thing that's been going for Jacksonville for the past 2 years now, and they just drafted Etienne above him and said screw you and moved on. So you kind of feel bad for the man. He probably is looking to get out as soon as possible at this point. But I think what I'm saying here is that his talent is there, so he definitely could have an extremely large role in that offense, if not like have a shared backfield situation. So I think in this range, like he's far more valuable than Raheem Mostert is, in my opinion. Raheem Mostert might have one like pop off game and then he'll be injured for the rest of the season. So I mean, I definitely have picked Raheem Mostert, but I think James Robinson is far more valuable. Now the ADPs are not as comparable, I don't think. 201 to 183, yeah. So they're in separate ranges. So I don't know if I'm really making that much of a take right there, but makes sense to me. I wanted Will Fuller. I'm not taking KJ Hamler. We don't need another Denver Bronco. So we'll go with like we're gonna go with John Mechie because we have to take Mark Ingram next pick. I think John Mechie has the highest potential of being a real role in an offense. KJ Hamler, great talent, great offense. I just already have two Denver receivers. AJ Green is aging. He'll have a little bit of productivity in the beginning of the year with DeAndre Hopkins being out, but that's more of a beginning of the year play. But maybe that would have made sense for our team just because we have a couple question marks in the beginning of the year in Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. But I like John Mechie's upside way more than any of these three receivers left. I'm definitely looking for Mark Ingram here. If we get him, we'll be feeling really good. It's very possible we don't, though. I think a lot of people are picking up that Mark Ingram's going to be the starting back. James Robinson goes. I think AJ Green goes. Okay, so he had him queued up. This guy only has 3 running backs, so don't be surprised if he goes Mark Ingram right here. Honestly, any of these guys, because their running back positions are lacking. So maybe I should have went Mark Ingram. I think Mark Ingram was way more valuable to our team than John Mechie, so I probably should have went Mark Ingram first. If Mark Ingram gets taken right here, we'll take James Robinson. I'm glad that these two teams reached on some backs. That works out for us because now we get one of the two guys that we like. We'll just have to wait and see who that is. Okay, so James Robinson goes, and I'd much rather have Mark Ingram on this team just because we have Alvin Kamara. So, I mean, I know we drafted a lot more running backs than we really had to. 7 running backs is probably too much, but basically what we did is we bet on our 2 quarterbacks and our 2 tight ends to put up numbers every single week, and not draft a 3rd quarterback or a 3rd tight end. Like I said, we might grab Teddy B at the end, but for the most part, we're grabbing 2 of each. But that allowed us to stack our wide receiver and running back rooms to where I feel really good about both at this point. So as long as these 2 quarterbacks stay healthy and as long as these 2 tight ends stay healthy, we could be looking at the best team that I've drafted in Superflex to date. Very well could be looking at that right here. Our rating is probably going to be abysmal, our projected, just because they like you taking 3 or 4 quarterbacks, which, trust me, I get the argument. And you know, they both have a bye on week 9, which I actually kind of like that. I know it sounds like, you're basically going to lose week 9, but I would much rather guarantee my loss at week 9 and just limit it to 1 week as opposed, because if they had 2 separate bye weeks, and since we're banking on just these 2 quarterbacks as opposed to drafting 3 or 4, if they had 2 separate bye weeks, we're pretty much guaranteed we're going to lose both those weeks just because we're not going to have a super flex position counting for us in the weeks that one of these guys is on a bye. But being that both of them are on a bye at week 9, we can just count on a loss that week, and that'll limit our floor to just count on the loss week 9 and then having both of them for the rest of the season. And like I said, this team is banking on these 2 guys staying healthy and both of our tight ends staying healthy. But in a tournament situation, when we're going for first place, we're shooting for that $50,000. We are banking on everything kind of working out perfect. And being that we punted running back, I like that we built a really strong and deep running back room, and along with our wide receivers. So basically at this point, our running backs and wide receivers, which are probably the hardest positions to get, after the first 2 or 3 rounds of quarterbacks, we made those basically juggernaut positions. So now our bet is on the quarterbacks and tight ends, and if they stay healthy and they produce like we think they're going to, then like I said, this could be the best Superflex team that we've drafted to date. I think this is probably right around our 10th team in Superflex that we've drafted in this draft, but also ever. We never, none of my friend groups or office leagues or anything like that, no one ever does Superflex um, in the groups that I'm in. So, I'm learning as we go, and I've definitely done. I mean, if you guys saw my first Superflex draft, you would be disgusted. It was so bad. Now I think this team has a very real chance at winning the tournament. I really do. KJ Hamler, I would love to take him at 225. He's almost getting worth taking anyways, even though we already have Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton, because we're at pick 225 and his ADP is 192. He's almost. Teddy B goes too. Yeah, we're gonna go KJ Hamler. I know, having this many people on the same team is. I don't like it. I don't normally like it, but being that KJ Hamler fell to pick 225, which in normal drafts, you don't even get, you get 18 rounds and you're done. We're on round 19. So at this point, it's like an insurance policy. If anyone has a good day in Denver, we're getting a stack with him and Russell Wilson, other than Jerry Jeudy. So I'm okay with taking him, especially since I saw Teddy Bridgewater got picked the pick before, because that was going to be our last draft pick of this draft. So we're not taking him anymore. So I can either A, count on getting another wide receiver to kind of make up for my 3 Denver Bronco wide receivers, or I could grab like a Malik Willis here. I don't know how I feel about Malik Willis. Maybe we grab him for the same reason we're going to grab Teddy B, just in case something happens. I mean, if something did happen to Ryan Tannehill, he is getting older. If something did happen to him, Malik Willis does have rushing upside on an average offense. I think Bryan Edwards is a really good pick here. I think you can make a case for Sterling Shepard, Romeo Doubs, and Velus Jones. But, being that we have 2 quarterbacks, I'm okay to throw my 20th pick around, or 20th round pick away, basically, on just a pipe dream that Ryan Tannehill gets injured. And I'm okay with taking a third quarterback here, being that we have 7 running backs and 8 wide receivers already. And I'm extremely confident with our 2 tight ends. Normally I wouldn't be, but being that it's Dalton Schultz and Dallas Goddard, I feel really good about that. So the draft is over. Just to recap our team, we went Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott as our 1-2 punch. One of them is going to be our quarterback score. One will be our super flex if everything works out on a week-to-week basis, except for week 9, which we can count on losing, but that's okay. Out of 17 weeks, we can afford one. Malik Willis, just in case something happened to Ryan Tannehill, and he has that rushing upside. He's basically the only relevant quarterback left at this point. I mean, you see him. There's pretty much no one else that's even worth taking. Our running back room is Alvin Kamara, who's going to be suspended for 6 to 8 weeks probably. So in the meantime, we're looking at Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Nyheim Hines, Damian Pierce, Tyler Algier, Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram will take over Alvin Kamara's role at a probably 60 to 70% value of what Alvin Kamara would be. So between these 6 running backs, we should be able to get 2 usable scores for those first 6 to 8 weeks while we're waiting for Alvin Kamara. Then when he comes back, our running back room looks extremely solid. Our wide receiver room is the best room in this draft. CeeDee Lamb stacked with Dak, Tyreek Hill, just because he's Tyreek Hill. Cortland Sutton stacked with Russell Wilson, Michael Thomas, who probably will get traded before the season or early in the season. Tim Patrick is another stack with Russell Wilson. KJ Hamler's another stack with Russell Wilson. George Pickens and John Mechie are rookies with high upside. And then we have Dalton Schultz and Dallas Goddard at tight end. So I do think this is the best draft that we've done, and actually our projection thinks so as well. I thought it was going to be really bad since we only took 2 quarterbacks through the first 19 rounds, but this is probably the best projection that we've had so far in these Superflex positions. That's actually a really good projection for normal, but the projections are a lot higher in Superflex since there's more rounds. So higher being like a higher value, usually in the 28 to 3,200 range. But we actually are looking at a pretty good projection as well. So I think it was the best puppy draft team we have drafted so far. It was our 10th entry, so 10 times a charm. But yeah, so we will be drafting again tomorrow. If you haven't signed up for Underdog Fantasy yet, go on there. Your first deposit between $10 and $100 gets matched 100%. So free money, you put in $100, you get $100 for free in that same second. You get into 40 of these drafts while they're still available. You can see the progress bar is slowly but surely filling up, so get in there while you can. Use code FFX54 while you can as well. That supports me, takes nothing away from you. Other than that, I really appreciate you guys coming out, checking out the channel, saying what's up. I do these every single day, so subscribe, hit the bell, and keep coming back. But until tomorrow, I'll see you guys. I still owe you guys a Best Ball Mania draft once this puppy draft fills up, just because I missed yesterday. Or no, I missed Saturday, I guess. So until tomorrow, you guys have a good night, and I will see you. Peace.